I've been really leaning into this value I have around beauty. Noticing it, creating it, appreciating all the beauty I see around me. And honestly, that's the whole reason why I wanted to make today's video. I want to talk about all the little luxuries that upgraded my life, because I truly believe that once you create these small, chic moments in your everyday, life just becomes more fun. And here is why all of this actually matters to me so much right now. I've lived on both extremes. There was a period where I was very stupid with my finances and I was buying a lot of things I truly didn't need. And then I swung all the way to the other side and I was extremely frugal. I wasn't spending money on myself at all. And I didn't like that either. At that time, everything felt unnecessary. And now I don't think that the answer is to want nothing. I think the answer is adding nice things into your life on purpose, with a clear intention behind it. So quick thing before we get into today's video, I want to invite you guys to join my free weekly newsletter called Aligned. There I go deeper on things like nervous system regulation, protecting your energy, and creating a life you love. So if you want to join, the link is in the description. It's completely free. So now let's get into the video. Alright, so the first big area of little luxuries that I've been slowly adding to my life is focusing on skills. Skills as luxury. I think learning new skills is extremely important, and it's something that truly makes me feel chic. I think having skills and working on something you love is real luxury. So I said previously that I've been really focusing on beauty, and that's why the skills that I've been learning are things like doing my own nails or doing my own hair, learning how to do makeup. And when I say doing my own hair, I mean like cutting my hair and dyeing my hair by myself. Yes, learning those skills also save me money, but I do them mainly because I truly like them. It's really fun and it makes me feel so happy. I like learning how to take care of myself at home. And so for me, all of those things and actually like finding time to learn those skills is luxury. Another skill that I think is extremely chic is speaking foreign languages. Of course, I had to mention it because English isn't my native language. I moved abroad at the age of 22, but I grew up speaking Russian. Now I speak English, Spanish, Chinese because I majored in Chinese in college, and foreign languages are a part of my life. Para mí, hablar español no fue un gasto, fue una inversión en mí misma. Y creo que eso también es un lujo. With all of the things that I do every single day, like my work and exercising, finding time to actually sit down and study Spanish, because Spanish is my priority right now, feels to me like a little luxury. It feels like it's time for me. So that's why I pay for Spanish classes every single week. I take 2 classes a week with my teacher, and those classes feel like luxury to me. They help me create a consistent routine, and they make me better at a language that I truly love. Now let's talk about the second big area of little luxuries, and it is undistracted time. Recently, I've been really trying to add more days into my week where during my morning routine and my evening routine, I am not using my phone. I'm not listening to anything, I'm not watching anything in the background. I'm just focused on my morning routine and my evening routine. And to be honest, sometimes it feels quite boring. It feels like I wanna get that stimulation from my phone, but I'm trying because I deeply believe that this undistracted time, that time just for you, is a little luxury. When you decide to cook and you're just focused on that, you're not listening to anything, you're not watching anything, you're not responding to messages while cooking. You're 100% focused on what you're doing. Watching a movie and giving up the second screen. Like a lot of us right now, when we sit down to watch something super long, like a 2-hour movie, we also have to be scrolling social media because just focusing on the movie is now boring. So if I notice that I have the urge to scroll while watching a movie, I consciously change my patterns and I tell myself, Veronika, you're watching a movie right now. If you're bored, if you don't want to watch the movie anymore, turn it off. instead of having the second screen. Also, when we talk about this undistracted time, I think it's really important to talk about the time we spend with our loved ones. Because for me right now, my little luxury is not having my phone on the table when I'm having dinner with my husband. When we go on dates, we go to restaurants, our phones stay in our pockets. It's something that we love to follow because that undivided attention is absolutely everything. And right now, it's a little luxury because we're all so distracted all the time, and our focus is, being pulled in a million different directions every single hour or even every single minute. Little luxury number 3 is time bought back. So here I am going to talk about some things that I purchased. For example, I cook a lot, and in general, making nutritious meals is very important for me. But I also work a lot, and so I really like buying kitchen gadgets that speed up the cooking process for me. So I have this vegetable cutter that is honestly so satisfying to use. If you feel angry, you just put a vegetable in there and you smack it and you have the perfect pieces. That's nice, but as a bonus, you can also work with your anger. I also bought the slicer because I really like pickling things like cucumbers and radishes, and instead of slicing everything with my knife, I can just do this very quickly and it's done. Another amazing little luxury purchase that I've made recently is getting an Instapot. It's great. It's amazing. It helps me make soups and stews extremely quickly, so I highly recommend it. Also, you guys know that I'm vegan, and sometimes it's really hard for me to find vegan ice cream and in general just ice cream that has really good ingredients. And so recently I got the Ninja ice cream maker, and I really like it because I can make my own ice cream at home. All of those little gadgets I have in my kitchen make a huge difference for me. Like when I want to cook something, instead of spending like 2 hours making the soup or the stew, it takes me maybe 20 minutes just because I have an Instapot. So time bought back is true luxury for me. When it comes to my work, for example, the way I'm buying back my time is by paying for an editor. I don't edit my own videos anymore, and I find so much value in working with a person who's going to help me do all of that work. I really appreciate it. It helps me so much focus on my consistency, making sure that I post every single week while at the same time protecting my time and using my time to do something else. The next little luxury that I love to add into my life is sensory experiences. And there's so many different things we can talk about here. The first thing that comes to mind is fresh flowers, having flowers at home. Not waiting for a special occasion, but going to the market, choosing the flowers, maybe even creating a bouquet myself so that I can always have fresh flowers at home. It just makes me feel so happy. I honestly have a lot of things in this category just because everything connected to your sensory experiences, like what you can smell, what you can touch, what you can see, it just makes me feel so happy, as I said before. Like I have an essential oil diffuser at home, I have essential oils, and every single time I use it, my apartment just smells amazing. I have incense that I like to use when I do yoga or just in general. Honestly, I love to use it. So I don't use silk because I'm vegan and silk isn't vegan, but my pillowcases are made out of this material and they feel so nice. They help my hair not get as frizzy in the morning. They feel nice and cool to your touch, and I love them. Another little thing I have that just improves my shower experience so much is when I wash my hair, I step out of the shower and I use a special microfiber towel for my hair. It's very small. It has a little button that I can use to secure the towel on my hair so that it doesn't fall. Because if I decide to use a regular towel, there's a very high chance that it's just gonna fall down on the floor especially when I'm doing my skincare and I really want to have my hair out of my face. So that's why I really love to use the small microfiber towel. I travel with it all the time. I use it at home all the time. So it's this little luxury purchase that was so worth it for me. Another little thing like this I have on my list are my skincare wristbands or little cuffs that I put on my wrists when I'm washing my face so that the water doesn't drip down my forearms. I hate that feeling, like the water just drips down, it drips down onto the floor, everything is a mess. And so I got these little cuffs. And now my skincare experience just feels so much better. Drinking loose leaf tea. I actually really like touching the leaves and the smell is just so much stronger. Also, I like to drink coconut water as a natural source of electrolytes because a lot of sports drinks have a ton of sugar. And coconut water is just coconut water. Obviously, it probably has natural sugars in it, but it's all supposed to be in there. It doesn't have any added sugar. The supplements I take, they're specifically designed for vegans and they just look amazing, they smell amazing, and I love them. Also, when I do my Wordle of the day, using my physical Wordle book, because in the past I was always doing my Wordle on my phone, and because now I'm trying to spend more and more time being as far away from my phone as possible, I bought a physical Wordle book, like with all of the, challenges or exercises or however you want to call it. And so I really like that I can just, touch the book. It smells amazing, the smell of paper, and do my 5-minute Wordle of the day this way. The next little luxury I've been really enjoying is everything connected to my working out routine, my movement, and the way I approach exercise. So recently, I actually started doing Pilates, like especially mat Pilates at home. And I've been using the app called Strong by Izzy, paying the monthly subscription. And, I have all the different accessories that you need for mat Pilates, like my yoga mat, obviously, my ankle weights, the Pilates ball. I think that's it. That's probably all I have, and all the other things like weights I just use at the gym. But I see the value in paying for that subscription, and when I pay for my yoga classes or my handstand workshops, because I want to always improve my handstand technique, and in general learning how to do a handstand in the correct way with all of the correct techniques, it's pretty hard, and you do need a teacher, somebody who can look at you and tell you, okay, do that, don't do that, improve this, work on that. And so all of those things are a form of little luxury for me. Also, I really like paying for workout classes because I like to feel the sense of community, because I often exercise by myself, alone, and so sometimes it feels pretty lonely, especially if you do it every single day for weeks and months and years. At some point, you just feel like you want to be able to talk to someone. You need a teacher, or you want to be surrounded by other students who are also learning the same thing. So that's why right now I've been slowly adding this little luxury into my routine. Alright, and the final little luxury I want to talk about is curated environment. There are a lot of ways in which you can really curate your environment, but the way that I've been really practicing it recently is by doing these two things. So the first thing is I really like reading books. And so right now, I only buy physical copies of books that I know I'm gonna wanna reread. Books that really meant something deep for me. And that means that my shelf, my personal library, is pretty small because every single book is curated. Everything else I read on my Kindle or I use my iPad, so I feel okay when I read books electronically. Sometimes if I can go to a library and get a book there, that is amazing, but most of the time I just read everything on my Kindle. And the second way in which I like to curate my space is connected to my clothes, because when I buy a new clothing item, if needed, I always go and get it tailored so that I know that this piece fits me well, because I've been noticing that usually I stop liking a certain piece in my closet because it doesn't fit me well. And it's so easy to solve that problem. Just go and get it tailored. For example, pants. Pants like almost never fit me well, either in the waist or the length. It's always a huge problem. And so when I go to a store and I find like a pair of jeans I really like, I know that it's okay if it doesn't fit me perfectly somewhere, lengthwise or in my waist, because I can always go and get it tailored. If I truly, truly like this piece, the quality is amazing, the price is great, and I buy it and then go and get it tailored. It's honestly such a small thing, but it changes everything about how a certain piece just feels on your body. Alright, so now I want to share the main idea underneath everything I've just mentioned. All of the little luxuries that have truly upgraded my life. There's this concept called hedonic adaptation. Basically, the more intense and instant a pleasure is, the faster you get used to it and the more of it you need. A great example is social media. There's no friction, it's very easy to just go and grab your phone and doom scroll for hours. It gives you a lot of dopamine very quickly, so you get used to it very fast and you need more and more of it. And if we talk about buying things, shopping, we adapt to things we buy extremely quickly. That's why, you really like something, you buy it, and the first few days you feel really excited, but in a year or maybe in a few months, the excitement is pretty much down to zero. However, we adapt way slower to experiences and skills we learn. And there's a very important side to hedonic adaptation that I really want to talk about: anhedonia. It means losing the ability to feel pleasure at all. And psychiatrist Anna Lemke, the author of the book Dopamine Nation, that I highly recommend reading, writes this about anhedonia. Every time we chase a cheap, quick dopamine hit, like scrolling, sugar, processed foods, instant novelty, there is a come down that dips us below the level we started. And so when you repeat this cycle over and over again, you realize at some point that you need the same level of stimulation just to feel normal. Like, not to feel happy, to feel okay, to feel normal. And so I think that is directly connected to why we also have such a huge consumer problem nowadays. Many of us feel like we need to buy more and more and more just to feel normal. And that's hedonic adaptation playing out in real life. And I want to be clear, I'm mentioning all of this not because I'm anti-spending money. I spend on things that I find genuinely valuable. I really like how Sahil Bloom put it in his book, The 5 Types of Wealth. I also highly recommend this book. Here he talked about being extremely frugal with things that are just not aligned with him, while being intentionally generous with all the things that are aligned with his values. And I think that is the whole point of little luxuries for me too. They are not random purchases, they're connected to my actual values. And so when I was mentioning all the little purchases that I've added recently into my life, I was grouping them into categories so that you could see why I even bought certain things. I know, for example, that I don't need 10 different water bottles. I have this one I use. Honestly, it's a little bit broken. This mechanism is a little bit broken, but it still works. I still love it, and it's great. I love makeup, but I don't need 10 different lip products to take care of my lips. Obviously, I can go to Ulta Beauty, for example, or Sephora, and look at different makeup products and lip products and touch them, like see the texture and save the things maybe in my notes, something that I like, something that I didn't like, because I already have a lot of lip products that I am using right now, and so I can always buy more later. It doesn't have to be an impulse purchase. It can be intentional. So guys, I think it's going to be it for today's video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Remember how at the very beginning of the video, I said that skills are real luxury. Improving your skills and working on your skills is something that is really important to me. So if you want to figure out which skills are worth building for you, I actually have a video about unfair advantages. The things that already come easier to you than to most people, and how to lean into those unfair advantages so that learning new skills doesn't feel like you're starting from zero. So if you want to watch it next, you can click right here. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!